at Light Reading's Carrier Cloud Forum here at Interop, New York City, and I'm talking with Scott Cain, who is the Chief Architect and CTO with BT. Now, Scott, we've talked to you before about how when you're selling cloud, it pays to sell to vertical cases as opposed to just the horizontal cloud idea. How specific do you need to get with those vertical cases, though? Do you need to get down to the point of having very specific use cases available to people?
Absolutely. I think, when BT announced that it was going to be in verticals, very specific verticals, we also announced with that we were going to differentiate ourselves in the market by creating very specific assets for that industry vertical. And I'll give you an example. Some of the cases we'll drive down into the supply chain for some of our customers in, let's say, global commerce or consumer packaged goods, right down out to shop floor, manufacturing floor, where we may do a video exchange, video collaboration, where we may have a remote camera out on an assembly line, where that's linked into a group of engineers in another part of the world, which is also linked into a group of maybe product people in a different part of the world, all collaborating over video. Now that's taking a very base technology, which we do very well globally, and applying it very specifically to an area of our industry vertical. So that's one of the examples. The other example is really the whole idea of the any device, anywhere concept that people are bringing to the cloud, right? Which is really kind of what the driver is behind the financial models for cloud, et cetera. It's how we utilize and enable that kind of technology, that connectivity for our customers in emerging markets specifically. So you've got shopkeepers and maybe in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, right? Where they actually do their inventory by taking a picture of the product or the UPC code on a very, not a smartphone, a very analog type phone, and sending that back to some other location. So that's another way that we can enable our technology with the customer to really kind of help differentiate them and get their products into these emerging markets, because that's where growth is coming from for them.
Okay, does this make things more difficult for you though? Because it sounds like you have to look at verticals within verticals or very specialized instances of verticals.
It does. The difficulty comes from really, being able to focus on doing one thing right, and then replicating that and making repeatable solutions out of it. So we don't have 500 bespoke capabilities all over the place, and we're trying to support many different things. So really what we're trying to do, and part of my role, is to make sure that we choose strategically where we want to be in business with our customers. That's based on their innovation, their strategies, and what they're telling our account CTOs, and how that feeds back into us. And then what we basically create to go to market with for them and enable them.
Okay, yeah. You use the word bespoke, and that's exactly what I was starting to think, that this is sounding like customized cases, basically. Like you do something once, do you learn things there that you can reuse somewhere else? I mean, how do you make sure that you're spreading yourselves out properly as you go after some of these specific cases?
Well, I don't think it's a perfect animal, unfortunately. So depending on the customer, we have some very strategic customers that may just ask us to do something and we do it. And it may not be a repeatable solution. I always say there's three things that drive products for us and capabilities for us. One, the customer wants it. Two, the customer wants it. And three, the customer wants it, right? So if they want it, hopefully what we can do is scatter that across our other customers, which is why we got into this industry vertical in the first place. So if let's say Unilever is interested in something, hopefully Pepsi, Procter & Gamble, et cetera, other customers within that vertical would be interested in the same thing.
Well, that leads to the opposite question, though. Getting back to the horizontal case, do they really know what they want? How educated are they about what they're going to do with the cloud?
In some cases, they really do know what they want, and in other cases, they're looking to us to help them understand really the difference between public, private, hybrid, where they should be investing their money, where their strategies should be built. So,
and when you start talking along those lines, do they basically run away in fear? Like public, is it just too much for them?
They can, yeah, and there's a lot of them. They like any other company have a certain amount of money to invest in growth and product development, advertising, marketing, et cetera. So to invest in cloud development, they have to be smart about where they're putting their money. So a lot of them are pretty nervous about it.
Okay, great. Well, Scott, thank you very much.
That's my pleasure. Thanks.